mga sir, welcome to Dad and Son Sports Cards. Sir Dad here and welcome to our newest podcast here at Dad and Son Sports Cards, which we will call The Card Accountant. Ayan guys, no? So, yung The Card Accountant na podcast na to, naisip ko to guys in order to help our fellow collectors or fellow hobbyists na to manage their sports cards finances well guys, no? Kaya nga The Card Accountant, no? Tuturuan ko kayong tuusin, no? Tuusin yung inyong mga gastos, yung inyong mga benta, yung inyong kita, no? So, I will help you audit, record your sales, expenses, and income, no? Even your assets, inventory, no? Here on our podcast. So, basically, that's what we'll talk about, no? So, accountant. So, accountant is the one who helps, no? To helps you that we will help you account for your sports cards. Account meaning record, monitor, track, trace your sports cards finances, guys. One of the problem kasi in the hobby is that we tend sometimes, because we all know, obviously, we really love the hobby, we really love sports cards collecting. But the problem for most of the collectors is that sometimes they tend to forget, no? They tend to overspend, no? They tend to overspend, and since they don't have tracking, they don't have monitoring, di nila mapigilan. They cannot control themselves, no? They cannot control themselves to purchase what they want, to join breaks, etc. Which, in the long run, they end up being broke. No? And we don't want that. No, we don't want that to happen. What we want is to encourage our fellow collectors to manage their sports cards finances well, and in that way instill discipline. In a way, instills we could instill discipline, no, in terms of sports cards collecting. The hobby is not cheap. It's very expensive pa nga, no? It's really very expensive. And if we would not properly manage our sports cards funds or sports cards finances, then instead of enjoying it, we might end up having a problem because of it. And that's what we are trying to minimize, no? That's what we're trying to minimize, na yung mga ganong mga senaryo mangyari, na sometimes baka mamaya yung sports cards funds mo sa sobrang paggastos mo, hindi mo na namamalay, nagagalaw mo na yung ipon mo, nagagalaw mo na yung funds which is intended for your needs, for your mortgage, for your rent, for the more important things, no? Although it's we're not limiting, or we're not controlling, we're not stopping you to collect, to join breaks, if that makes you happy. Kasi wala yung kinaibahan pagka, kaya nga hobby, wala yung pinagkaibahan, for example sa golf, 'di ba? Sa golf, kung yun yung hobby mo, no, kung yun talaga yung hobby mo, mag-golf, bibili ka din ng mga golf equipments, bibili ka ng golf club shares, etc., which is may cost din yon, no? Pero tulad ng sa sports cards collecting, ganun din, gumagastos ka rin dahil doon ka masaya, dahil doon ka nag-enjoy. And sometimes collectors, that's their pinaka outlet, no? After stressful week, no? After stressful week, yung makita mo na yung sports cards mo. If you see your sports card, then it will lift up your mood. Then that's invaluable, no? That's invaluable. Pero we cannot always justify our feelings, no? Na we're happy on it, we're enjoying it, this is my form of relaxation, this is my outlet. That's not an excuse for you to properly manage your sports cards funds. Yes, you're happy. Yes, that's your outlet. Yes, you're stressed, and that's your distressor or stress reliever, no? So, but that's not. I'm saying that it's not an excuse, because the hobby entails cost. May cost, no? May gastos. You're spending on it, and if you're spending, no, is you're spending hard-earned money. And if you're spending hard-earned money, then it's best, no? And if you want to continue to enjoy, or if you want to continue to have your stress reliever, which is sports cards, then you should manage your sports cards finance well. Because There might come a time, if you do not manage your sports cards finances well, there might come a time that instead of being happy, that the hobby might give you a problem. And we don't want that. That's why we have this kind of episode and this kind of podcast, which we call the card accountant, guys. No, so I am an accountant by day. So I'm a certified public accountant, and I will try to impart some of my knowledge about accounting and incorporate it to our sports cards, to our hobby, to our collecting journey, guys. No, and in a way, may I hope I can help you, help our fellow collectors in the hobby to manage our sports card finances well. Why accounting? Why do we need to account our sports cards? As again, as I've said, it has money involved. So there's cash outflow, no? So every expense we have, every cash which we spend must be recorded. No, that's why there's an accounting. If you do not record your expenses, especially in terms of the hobby, if you do not set a budget, then you might tend to overspend. And if you overspend, you might do things that might you might regret. For example, I remember one case where pambayad na ng ilaw, no, due date ng tubig at ilaw nila, then he was not able to pay tabs, and his excuse is yun nga, due date ng ilaw nila, pwede ba gamitin ko muna sa pababayad ng ilaw at tubig ko kasi di ko napansin ngayon pala yung due date ng ilaw at tubig namin. So I don't know if it's just an excuse or really it's the scenario, but whatever, if you manage and if you account for your sports cards fund well, then that won't happen. Let me give you a situation, no, on why accounting for sports cards is important. For example, you have a sports cards budget. Let's say 10,000 per month. Okay, that's your sports cards budget. That's the one you set as a sports cards budget. Etong budget na to, I will use it. This is my outlet, no? This is my disposable income. This my disposable income. I already slashed out my savings, slashed out my expenses for the month. It's all settled. Then may tira. There's a super extra pa after it. Then the super extra, you put it on your sports cards fund to the hobby you love, and you set 10,000. Now for the 10,000 pesos, what will you've already spent, for example, for the first 3 weeks of the month, you've already spent 10,000 pesos. Come fourth week of the month, you saw a very nice card you really like, no? For example, a Steph Curry, na Aurora, Court Kings, etc. Ganyan, no? Basta kung ano yung gustong-gusto mong card, no? Which you were aiming for, which you were looking for, which you don't want to miss. And then, of course, you don't want to miss it. You really like it. You bought it. You bought it. You bought it, for example, for another 10,000 pesos. So, where did this 10,000 come from? That would be an issue. That is not part of your sports cards budget already because you've already spent. If you do not have a record, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know that you do not have a sports cards budget already. But if you have a record, yan na. If you have a record, which is the accounting, if you account for your sports cards funds well, then come fourth week, you saw this card. Now you take a look at your sports cards budget, your cash flow, and you notice that, oh, I've already spent for the first 3 weeks all my sports cards budget, all my sports cards fund. Then in the fourth week, guys, yun nga, na-spend mo na eh. In first weeks, tinignan mo yung record mo. Your record shows na you do not have enough sports cards fund na. Would you still buy it? Of course not. No, because you're limited to your budget. Your monitoring, your report, your cash flow report will show you na, oops, I'm up to here only. If I spend another one, that's not my sports cards budget anymore. Then it would serve as a parang stoplight siya no? Parang stoplight ngayon yung report mo na yon, yung record mo na yon. See the difference if you record and if you do not record. If you record, then it will hey stop, 'di ba? If you look at it, hey stop. If you do not have a record, you tend to spend, which is not good, no? Kaya it is very important for you to record your expense, your income, your sales, which is that's the accounting, no? So yun yung accounting natin for sports cards, which we will teach you in the course of this podcast, mga boss, no? And I hope I would be able to help you with this type of content, guys. Now, baka sabihin nyo, napa-KJ naman yan. Alam nyo, ako small business ko, sports cards. Tapos tinuturuan ko kayo ng disiplina. Tinuturuan ko kayo na mag-control, diba? Because I want this to continue. No? I want all of us to continue. Ayoko namang ako lang nakikinabang. I don't want to be selfish na ako lang nakikinabang na sige, gastusin niyo yan, gastos lang kayo. Hindi naman po kami ganoon, no? We want for us, all of us to enjoy, guys. So kaya I'm really finding ways na kung paano hindi nakaka-guilty. For example, may breaks. May breaks are per week, no? Why per week? Kasi yun nga, sabi ko, para sa isang whole week, makapag-ipon sila, come weekends, meron silang pang breaks. For example, imbis na mag-Starbucks ako, paano halimbawa, ito halimbawa guys kung paano mo i-manage yung sports cards fund mo. Sample lang to guys, no, for this first episode. For example, break. Usually Monday yan, ipopost ko na yan. Then, for Monday, then they would know the price already, no? They would know the price already. Weekend i-break namin yan. Usually na-fill yung weekend. Tapos gagawin ko, daming temptation, Monday to Friday. Starbucks pa lang, temptation na yun. Magkano yung 200 isa, diba? Yung spot price, 500. Gustong-gusto ko yung team na yun. Gustong-gusto ko yung box na yung 500. Syempre ako, I will not buy Starbucks for 4 days. How much was that, no? Sabihin natin 1.5, 250 isa. Grande ata yun, no? 250 pesos, diba? Then, at least, meron ka lang na-save. Meron, for your sports cards fund, meron ka pang na-save for other things, 'di ba? So, yun yung mga sacrifices na pwede mong gawin if you really have to fund the hobby, no? So, yun, it should be recorded. Kasi pagka recorded, may monitoring kayo, may target kayo. Monday pa lang, ang target ko, itong na to, imbis na kumain ako ng buffet ngayon, na mag-samgyupsal ako, yung ko. So, yun yung kagandahan ng may record. That's the benefit of having a sports cards fund, and if you account for your sports cards fund, guys, no? So, sample lang yan, patikim lang yan, guys. Kaya, again, guys, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please like this podcast if you like this, and please comment any topics you would like, no? And we'll try to discuss it. I hope this would help you. This would help every collectors out there, especially Team Buyat. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. And please follow us on all our social media accounts. The link is below in the description box. Thank you guys for watching. This or that, again, reminding you that you can cash in on your passion. And don't get broke. Bye, guys!
You gotta focus on yourself, on your faith, on your dreams, on your mind, on your health, yeah. Gotta work, never tell, keep your head down, find what you love and excel, yeah. Push and